Imagine stepping onto a gleaming, state-of-the-art Dreamliner jet, expecting a smooth, comfortable journey, only to find yourself gripped by anxiety as the aircraft circles back for an emergency landing less than an hour after takeoff. Now picture the shock of learning that, just days before, another Dreamliner from the very same airline had crashed within minutes of leaving the runway, with more than 270 souls lost in a fiery disaster. What is happening to the aircraft that was once hailed as the future of air travel? Are these isolated incidents, or is there a deeper crisis looming behind the wings of Boeing's flagship jet? And perhaps most importantly, should passengers be worried every time they board a Dreamliner? To answer these questions, we need to rewind to the Dreamliner's bold debut. When Boeing unveiled the 787 Dreamliner back in the year 2011, the aviation world was electric with anticipation. The aircraft's sleek design, featuring advanced composite materials that replaced much of the traditional aluminum, promised not only reduced weight, but also significant improvements in fuel efficiency, up to 20% savings compared to older jets. Airlines across the globe saw an opportunity to cut costs, offer longer nonstop routes, and transform the passenger experience with quieter cabins, higher humidity, and larger windows. Orders poured in from every continent. By the middle of the next decade, more than 1,000 Dreamliners were soaring through the skies, connecting cities that had never before enjoyed direct service. The Dreamliner was quickly embraced as the darling of international carriers. For airlines like Air India, the Dreamliner represented not just technological progress, but national pride, a symbol of ambition and modernity. By the year 2025, India and Japan together were operating more than 176 Dreamliners, accounting for over 15% of the global fleet. Major Japanese carriers such as All Nippon Airways, the single largest Dreamliner operator, relied on these jets for critical long-haul routes, linking Tokyo to cities as far afield as New York, London, and Sydney. Likewise, Air India positioned its Dreamliners as the backbone of its expanding international network, aiming to compete with Gulf giants and European legacy airlines. Yet from its very first years, the Dreamliner's journey was beset by turbulence. In the early days, Boeing's ambitious plan to outsource vast portions of the supply chain led to delays and coordination headaches. The most alarming setback came in 2013, when multiple Dreamliners experienced onboard fires caused by overheating lithium-ion batteries. The entire global fleet was grounded for months, a move unprecedented for a brand-new aircraft model. Investigators scrambled to redesign the battery systems, and new safety standards for lithium-ion technology were rolled out worldwide. Production bottlenecks, allegations of lax oversight, and mounting whispers of quality control lapses continued to dog the Dreamliner project as it matured. Fast forward to June of 2025. On the 16th day of the month, Air India Flight 315 prepared to depart from Hong Kong to Delhi. The scheduled departure at 8:50 in the morning came and went, with passengers growing restless as the minutes ticked by. It was not until 12:16, nearly 3.5 hours late, that the aircraft finally lifted off. Yet, relief was fleeting. Less than 1 hour into the flight, the pilot in command detected a technical anomaly, details of which remain under investigation, and declared a technical emergency. Air traffic controllers at Hong Kong International Airport sprang into action, requesting a full on-ground emergency standby. The Dreamliner landed safely at 1:15 in the afternoon, its passengers visibly shaken but unharmed. Air India quickly issued a statement assuring the public that passengers were being cared for and that the aircraft was undergoing thorough inspection. Beneath the official reassurances, anxiety simmered. Passengers recounted tense minutes in the air, wondering if the worst was yet to come. Social media buzzed with speculation, but the real tremor rippled through the aviation industry itself, because this was not just a one-off scare. Just 4 days earlier, on June 12th, tragedy had struck. An Air India Dreamliner, operating a London-bound service, crashed within a minute of takeoff in Ahmedabad, plowing into a medical college complex and claiming the lives of all 242 passengers and crew, along with dozens more on the ground. It was the first fatal crash ever of a Boeing 787, and the aftermath was immediate and seismic. Aviation experts and regulators moved swiftly. Christine Negroni, a respected aviation safety analyst, did not mince words, saying, "The 787's design and maintenance protocols require immediate reevaluation. Complacency is deadly." The Indian Directorate General of Civil Aviation, or DGCA, ordered all Dreamliners in the country to undergo expedited inspections within a 72-hour window, a move criticized by some as insufficient, given the complexity of the aircraft and the gravity of the crash. Japanese authorities followed suit, zeroing in on the Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 engines that power many Dreamliners in the region, engines already known for durability concerns and prior service bulletins. The economic stakes were enormous, with India and Japan operating a combined 176 Dreamliners, a significant fraction of the entire global fleet. Any hint of systemic problems could lead to grounded planes, canceled flights, and billions in lost revenue. Major carriers scrambled to reassure their customers and shareholders. Ron Epstein of Bank of America warned, "Boeing faces heightened scrutiny. Expect further delivery delays and potential order cancellations." Behind closed doors, the pressure on Boeing and its airline partners was immense. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, faced a firestorm of criticism for its decision not to ground the 787 fleet, especially after a year marked by multiple safety incidents across the industry. Questions about the FAA's original certification of the Dreamliner, based on standards now viewed as outdated, only added fuel to the debate. In Japan, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, the MLIT, pledged to work closely with airlines, leaving no room for compromise on safety. Rolls-Royce, the manufacturer of the Trent 1000 engines, saw its stock price tumble as investors feared the mounting costs of potential recalls, repairs, and legal liabilities stemming from the crash. For Air India, the spotlight was particularly harsh. The Ahmedabad disaster had involved a 12-year-old Dreamliner, raising pointed questions about the maintenance of aging aircraft in mixed fleets. Unlike newer models, older jets often require custom maintenance schedules and more frequent inspections. Airlines must juggle different configurations, software updates, and even variations in onboard systems, each one a potential point of failure if not meticulously managed. Some industry insiders speculated that the pre-takeoff delay in Hong Kong, which stretched nearly 3.5 hours, might have been an early sign of maintenance difficulties being overlooked or rushed. The situation is further complicated by the fact that Air India's fleet includes both new and aging aircraft, adding layers of operational complexity. All Nippon Airways, or ANA, found itself under similar scrutiny. As the world's largest operator of Dreamliners, ANA's reputation and bottom line were on the line. The carrier immediately launched a full fleet review, pledging to be transparent with regulators and the public. In an era when public confidence is fragile, the stakes could not be higher. The consequences of these incidents extend far beyond the immediate loss of life and equipment. Insurance costs for Dreamliners are expected to rise sharply as underwriters reassess risk in light of the crash and emergency landing. Airlines are bracing for stricter regulatory oversight, costlier maintenance protocols, and the possibility of more frequent flight cancellations or delays as every aircraft in the fleet is subjected to painstaking inspections. For passengers, the impact is already being felt. The Airline Passengers Association of India reported a 20% surge in safety-related inquiries following the Ahmedabad crash, with customers demanding to know the age, maintenance history, and safety record of the planes they are booking. This erosion in public trust is not unique to India or Japan. It is a global phenomenon. In an age where news of every incident spreads instantly via social media, the reputational damage can be swift and deep. Airlines that fail to respond decisively risk losing not only bookings, but also the long-term loyalty of their customers. At the same time, the industry faces a dilemma: invest heavily in predictive maintenance, advanced diagnostics, and expanded pilot training, or risk a downward spiral of declining confidence and shrinking demand. John Strickland, an aviation consultant with decades of experience, put it bluntly, "Long-haul operations demand rigorous maintenance and pilot training. Shortcuts are unacceptable." Meanwhile, fresh allegations about Boeing's manufacturing process have come to light. Sam Solapur, a quality engineer at Boeing, has reported observing shortcuts during Dreamliner assembly, including the presence of drilling debris in structural interfaces and deformation of composite materials. In 2022, Boeing was forced to halt Dreamliner deliveries for more than a year due to quality concerns, with the FAA requiring remedial plans and new procedures to address minute gaps in fuselage sections. In 2024, the FAA again launched investigations, this time into allegations about the improper fastening of fuselage sections, a reminder that quality control is an ongoing battle in the world of high-tech manufacturing. These technical and regulatory stories are not just fodder for industry insiders. They have real, tangible impacts on the future of air travel. If the Dreamliner's problems are found to be systemic, airlines may be forced to ground large portions of their fleets, leading to massive disruptions across global flight networks. Delays, cancellations, and rerouted flights could become the new normal, especially on long-haul routes that depend on the Dreamliner's unique capabilities. For manufacturers like Boeing and Rolls-Royce, the stakes are even higher. Massive financial liabilities, the risk of losing market share to competitors like Airbus, and a potential crisis of confidence among both investors and the flying public. But within every crisis lies an opportunity for transformation. History shows that after every major aviation disaster, the industry has emerged stronger, with new safeguards and higher standards. The battery fire debacle of 2013, for example, led to the introduction of new global standards for lithium-ion power systems, changes that have since made flying safer for everyone. Similarly, after the two Boeing 737 MAX crashes, new certification and oversight protocols were put in place, forcing manufacturers to rethink both design and accountability. In May of 2025, Boeing entered into a $1.1 billion agreement with the United States Department of Justice to avoid prosecution related to the 737 MAX jetliner crashes, a stark reminder of the massive financial and reputational risks companies face in this industry. So what happens next? According to analysts, we can expect a cascade of changes in the coming months and years. Airlines will likely invest heavily in predictive maintenance technologies that use artificial intelligence and real-time data to flag anomalies before they become emergencies. Pilot training programs will be expanded to include more simulator sessions focused on handling rare but catastrophic scenarios. Regulators are already signaling a tougher stance, with increased surprise inspections, more stringent reporting requirements, and closer collaboration between agencies worldwide. Some experts are pushing for live data sharing between airlines, manufacturers, and regulators, so that every unusual event can be tracked and addressed immediately. For passengers, this means that while disruptions may increase in the short term, more delayed flights, longer waits, and perhaps higher ticket prices, the long-term outcome could be a new era of aviation safety. Airlines that are quick to adopt advanced diagnostics, transparent communication, and rigorous oversight will be better positioned to win back public trust. Transparency and proactive maintenance are becoming non-negotiable. As APAI's spokesperson emphasized, airlines must rebuild passenger trust. But the question of aging aircraft remains. The Ahmedabad crash involved a Dreamliner that was 12 years old, spotlighting the growing challenge of maintaining complex machines as they age. Older jets are not necessarily less safe, but they do require more diligent care, frequent part replacements, and updated maintenance regimes. Airlines with mixed aging fleets must juggle a patchwork of protocols, which increases the risk of errors. This is not just a technical challenge, it is a human one, requiring ongoing training, investment, and a culture of safety above all else. So, what can you, the viewer, do? First, stay informed. When booking a flight, major travel websites now display the scheduled aircraft model and often provide information on its safety record. If you are concerned, do not hesitate to ask the airline about their latest safety protocols, pilot training standards, or recent inspections. Your voice as a consumer plays a powerful role in holding airlines accountable. Second, remember that flight safety is a shared responsibility. Manufacturers, airlines, regulators, and even passengers all have a part to play. Demand transparency, ask questions, engage with news stories and reports about airline safety. The industry's response to these recent crises, whether it involves deeper inspections, more robust reporting, or better communication, will shape the future of air travel for all of us. Third, consider the economic and social implications. If public trust in the Dreamliner and similar aircraft continues to erode, we could see fewer bookings, rising costs, and a shrinking industry just when global connectivity is more important than ever. On the other hand, if the industry rises to the challenge, invests in new technologies, and fosters a culture of openness, we could enter a golden age of safer, more efficient, and more transparent air travel. Let us not forget, aviation, perhaps more than any other industry, is built on a foundation of learning from failure. Every regulation, every checklist, and every safety feature that we now take for granted was born from past accidents and near misses. After the Dreamliner's battery fires in 2013, the world's aviation authorities came together to set new benchmarks for safety. After the 737 MAX tragedies, certification processes were overhauled, making it harder for dangerous flaws to slip through the cracks. Out of tragedy, progress can come, but only if we demand it. So as we stand at a crossroads, the Dreamliner's troubles are more than just the story of one aircraft model. They are a wake-up call for the entire aviation sector, a reminder that innovation must go hand in hand with vigilance, that new technology is only as good as the systems and people who maintain it. If airlines, regulators, and manufacturers seize this moment to rethink their approach, invest in predictive maintenance, and prioritize transparency, the Dreamliner can still fulfill its promise of safe, efficient travel. If they do not, the cost will be measured not just in dollars, but in lives and lost opportunities. What do you think? Are you more cautious now when booking a flight? Do you believe airlines and regulators are doing enough, or does the industry need a fundamental overhaul? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more insights into global technology and economics, and join the conversation. The future of aviation is being written right now by regulators, engineers, pilots, and by you, the passenger. Stay informed, keep asking hard questions, and never take safety for granted.